What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to BeamerView. Today we're going to be going over 25 more hidden tricks on all BMWs. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, what we do here is showcase all the latest BMWs. We also do some really cool hidden tips and tricks. So if that's something that you guys are into, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we put out content every single week. Before we get started, guys, definitely check out these really cool two BMW key fob covers. They are linked right down below and they're also shipped by Amazon as well. So definitely check these guys out. They are selling like crazy. We actually posted up a previous video about a month ago and it actually took off. It actually got over 300,000 views till this day and it's still growing as we speak. So I did definitely want to do a part 2 of this video as well to definitely help you guys out and learn some really cool new tricks about your new BMW. Again, this is going to be part 2 of that video, and not only that, we're actually going to be doing a part 3 as well, so definitely subscribe to this channel if you guys do plan on watching that one as well too. Let's go and get started. So this vehicle that we're sitting in right now is a 2022 BMW X5. It actually has iDrive 7, which is the most common OS system for BMWs at this time. So that's why we're going to be using this as our test vehicle for today. So everyone, for number 1, the very first hidden feature that I definitely wanted to point out, and it's also a very useful one too in case you ever need to use it for emergency situations. So for all the newer BMWs, they actually have this emergency stop feature by holding down this guy right over here. So this is the emergency brake or e-brake or hand brake, whatever you want to call it. But the way that this guy works, and say for example you're driving and something comes up where, say for example, you had to do a emergency stop for a medical condition, all you have to do is, as you're driving, without even doing anything else, you guys just hold this down the whole time and the vehicle will come to a slow stop, and then it will also display emergency stop right over here. Along with that as well too, the hazard lights will turn on all by themselves, and lastly, it'll actually call the SOS all by itself as well too, so you don't have to touch that guy. But that's how emergency stop works. It's actually a really cool feature, and again, just to repeat myself, all you have to do is hold this down as you're driving. The vehicle will come to a complete stop, put itself in park, and turn on the hazards and call the SOS. Alright everyone, so hidden trick number 2 has to do with this little gear shifter right over here. Now if you guys don't know what these paddle shifters do, they actually switch gears for you just like a standard car. And every BMW, or the majority of them, they all have these 2 paddle shifters as well. Well, there's one really cool hidden trick too. If you are somebody who does use these paddle shifters a whole lot, one cool trick that this left one can do is, say for example, if you were driving and let's just say for example you're going at 45 miles per hour, if you were to do a long pull on this, what it would do is, as you're driving, let's say for example at around 45 miles per hour, it'll actually shift the gear all the way up to its lowest possible gear in order for you to get a really good start to pass that car or go onto the on-ramp, and it's very, very useful for those types of situations. Hidden trick number 3 has to do with a little cruise control. Now this works for every single cruise control that BMW makes. It actually has this really cool plus and minus right here where you can adjust your mile per hour. But the hidden trick with this is that if you do a hard push just like this, it'll actually move the mile per hour in increments of 5 instead of 1. So again, I'll demonstrate that. So this is just for 1 mile per hour. But again, if you do a hard push, that will actually move the mile per hour in increments of 5. Very, very useful if you do happen to use the cruise control a whole lot. Number 5 has to do with the child lock, and if you guys don't know where this is, it's actually located right along here. If you look on either side of the back doors, the child lock is right over here. If you want to engage it, just push up, and you see the little child that's right over there too. And if you do that, then that means that child lock is on. If you push this down, then that means that child lock is off. Jumping back into the vehicle for number 6. Number 6 would have to do with this little phone guide that you see right over here. Now, we all know that you can use this phone button for incoming calls. Say, for example, if somebody's giving you a phone call, you can actually hit this button to pick up the phone call. But did you guys know that while you're on the phone call, if you want to hang up the call, you don't have to hit decline or hang up on the screen right here. You could actually hit this phone button one more time to hang up the phone call too. Hidden trick number 7, I can't believe so many people still have yet to figure this out. But this little strip of numbers that you see right here, the presets or hotkeys, whatever you want to call them, we actually have a video on this too for all the different ways that you can program this. But these are not just limited to saving your favorite radio station. You can actually program this to save whichever setting that you see within the car right over here. So let's just say, for example, if we go into car right down here, and if we go into settings, you can program any of these settings that you see right over here to any of the numericals that you see right over here. And if you want to do that, it's the same way as you would program a radio station. Just click and hold whichever number and highlight the setting that you want to save, and just wait for the beep. and that's how you can save your settings right down here as hotkeys to go to your favorite setting. All right, so number 8 is a really hidden feature, and this one is more for all the newer vehicles with iDrive 7, but one of the coolest features, and a lot of people, they don't know about this one either, but you can actually tell a voice command to lower the window. Let me show you how that's done. Lower the window. As you can see, the window is going down, and I'm not doing anything with my hands. I'm not even touching these buttons right over here. Now, you can't tell voice command to put the window up, unfortunately, but this is also really useful, for example, whenever you're trying to go through the Starbucks drive-thru and get your favorite coffee, or if you're going to a parking garage and you're about to get your parking ticket. For number 9, it has to do with the sync button, or their lack of. Now, as you can see, all the newer BMWs, they have no sync button right over here. So what we're going to do is actually create one, and as the tip that we mentioned before on how to pre-program these to whichever setting, this one is going to be a really good one if you find yourself having to sync your 2 temperatures together a whole lot. So let me show you how that's done. First of all, you're going to see this whole climate control strip right along here. You're going to hit this one on the top where it says menu, and I know that's kind of hard to see because of the sun. It's a really bright, hot day today, so I do apologize. But if you hit menu right up here, you're going to see this screen right over here, and you're going to see a box for synchronize, which is right along here. All you have to do is go straight down and then go ahead and program that to whichever number that you like right over here. Wait for the beep, and then your number 1 is programmed to your synchronize now. Now let's just say, for example, if the 2 temperatures were out of sync, let's put this one at 76. Let's put this one at 76 and put this one down, so say for example 71. And now if you want the 2 temperatures to sync, all you have to do is hit number 1, and both of the temperatures are synced up. Now number 10 is not that crazy, but if I were to open up the sunroof right along here, you can see that this massive sunroof is gonna do this whole side right over here. Also, a quick fun fact too, this little net that you see right over here definitely helps with the wind noise that might enter the vehicle. It also helps prevents bugs from flying into your vehicle as well too. But going back to the tip, guys, this sunroof that you see right over here, you can push that back 1 little inch as well. So if I were to push the sunroof, use my finger right along this button right over here, push it back 1 quick time, and as you can see, it did push back just a little bit more, just so you can get more sunlight within the vehicle. Number 11 has to do with the SOS button. Now, many people, they never use this, and I definitely wanted to show you guys this because if you did have to use this, this might catch you by surprise just a little bit. But if you were to hit this 1 time, it's not actually a button, it's actually a hatch. So the actual button is going to be right along there, and if you do hit that button for whichever emergency situation you might be in, say for example if you have a flat tire, or if you're just trying to call 911, but they have this hatch right over here just so you might not accidentally hit it, or for whatever reason you might just bump your head on that as well. Number 12 is a really cool one, and that has to do with this little visor that you see right over here. While we're here, I did want to mention that if you want this light to turn on, all you have to do is just move the flap. All you have to do is just move the flap and then it'll turn on the light. But the real reason why we're here is for this guy right over here. Now, this little clip that you see right over here is very, very useful. For example, if you park in a parking garage and you have a parking ticket, you could actually put that right along here, and it'll actually stay right along here too. Let me demonstrate by using this little BMW key. Let's just say, for example, if your parking ticket was right there, you can actually just put that right along there, and it's very, very useful so you don't lose your parking ticket. It's also great for speeding tickets too, but hopefully you don't bump into that. Number 13 is very useful if you just got your BMW, but not only do all the BMWs come with the owner's manual that you have within the glove compartment, but if we were to go into car right down here, and then if we scroll all the way down, there's actually an owner's manual that you have right over here. And now if you're like me, I'm not a big fan of reading, but I am a big fan of videos and pictures, as you can tell. But there's actually a section for videos right in here where it says operating tips. You can also do a picture search as well too, but operating tips is right in here, and inside here they have videos for many of the different functions that this vehicle has, and it's very, very useful to learn new things about your car. Number 14 has to do with the navigation that you can see right over here. By default, if we just got our brand new BMW, map is always just going to be facing north, which means that your arrow right over here is going to be facing in all different types of directions. Now, there's 2 ways to fix that. You could actually hit this little compass that you see right over here, and it'll actually fix the arrow so it's pointing straight. The other thing you could do too is if you go right along here, I do apologize, it's really hard to see, but if you can see this, it says map settings. And inside map settings, if you hit that, you see another screen that pops up here where it says map views, well, that you just want to change that into direction of travel. And by doing that, you can see here that the arrow now is pointing straight, and it's very, very useful. Personally, this is my favorite way to use the navigation because it makes using it a lot more easier. Now, number 15 is a very useful one, and not many people know about this, but I definitely wanted to show you guys, and I do apologize, this is a brand new card, so that's why we still have the wrapping right here, so this might look a little weird. But as you can see right along here, we have our total miles right over there, and right down here we see 0.2. Well, what that is that is actually the trip computer. Now, not many people know how to reset this, but there is no button along here, which many people would think that there is a button right along here to reset the trip. But the way that you do it for BMWs is we have our BC button that's right down here on the left blinker stick. All you have to do is hold this down until the number goes to 0. Now watch that 0.2 go down to 0 as I'm holding down this BC button that you see right over here. And just like that, you see our trip computer right along there reset. Now, one additional thing to mention about that is that many people they use the trip computer for whenever they just fill up gas. Well, BMW is really smart in this sense because they actually have a setting within the vehicle where you can have the trip reset itself every time you fill up gas. So let me show you how that's done. So inside of our settings right along here, we're gonna go straight into car that you see as the fourth one right down here. And you're gonna go to the first one where it says driving information. Go ahead and click on that. And then once you see this screen right here, go on trip data. And then trip data, you're gonna see this first box that you see right over here where it says values since. Right now by default it's set to individual, but if I were to push down on that, you get more options right along here where it says displayed values since. What we wanna do is select refueling. So what that does now is that whenever the vehicle detects that we just topped off the tank or filled up gas, it will actually reset the trip all by itself. So you never have to hit the button or hit the BC button. It'll just do it all by itself. Very useful. Number 16 is a great one if you just picked up your vehicle and you're trying to set up your Sirius radio. Now, every BMW, they come with a radio ID, but finding it can be a little bit difficult. So the radio ID is for Sirius because they always ask for it whenever they're trying to register your new vehicle. In order to find the radio ID that Sirius requires, you're gonna go straight into media, which is gonna be the first one right along here. Then right after that, go into where it says Sirius, and then you just want to be on this column right along here. The next thing you want to do is look right down here and you see this option key. You're going to go ahead and hit that. And then whenever you hit that, you're going to see a new menu pop up right along here. The one that you want to find is called subscribe, which is going to be this guy right over here. If you hit subscribe, now you can see the radio ID. You can also see the phone number that you need to call for Sirius as well. What I usually tell my customers whenever I'm sitting down with them is go ahead and take a picture of your radio ID, so then whenever you call the phone number for Sirius, whenever they ask you, then now you just have to go into your pictures and then you can give them your radio ID. Number 17 has to do with our trunk. Now, by default, BMW's trunk heights are set to the highest setting, which is good and bad because yes, it does give you tons and tons of space to load in things, but if you have a small garage, there is a strong chance that the back trunk might hit the top of it. So to prevent any damage, I have this tip in here as well. And if you want to adjust your trunk height, what you want to do is go straight down to where it says car. And then you want to go into where it says settings, which is the third one. And then you want to scroll all the way over to where it says doors and vehicle access. After you go into that, you're going to click on tailgate. And then as you can see right along here, again, I do apologize for the glare. I know it's really hard to see, but you can see opening trunk height, which is right along here. And there's 5 different levels in which you can adjust the height. Right now it's set to the highest one, but yes, you can reduce that down, say for example the middle. And as you look right over here, you can actually see the trunk move as well too. Number 18 is super cool if you valet park your car a whole lot. Now, all new BMWs, they have this really cool feature. If you swipe down right along here, you actually have a menu that pops up right along here where it says recent destinations, recent calls, so on and so forth. But if you keep scrolling over, you actually have a valet parking mode that you see right along, oops. But if you keep scrolling over, you actually have a valet parking mode right over here. So valet parking mode, right now it's not gonna work for me because I don't have my driver profile set up for this vehicle. But You have to have your driver profile set up for your vehicle in order to use this. But if you were to go into this, you'd actually see your profile, and then you can actually set up a 4-digit PIN as well too. And what valet parking mode is very, very useful for is, say for example, if you're doing a valet parking, it'll activate some really cool privacy security things, such as hiding personal information, such as phone numbers and addresses. So whoever is driving the vehicle cannot see that as long as you have valet parking mode on. And there's also a function within there too, whenever you activate that your trunk will be locked all by itself as well too. So you can't go to the back and unlock your trunk. You also can't do it from here too. So it does keep the trunk locked. So if you did have some personal belongings, you can actually keep that right in the trunk, and then valet parking mode will actually keep the trunk locked until you go ahead and put in the VIN number, or sorry, the PIN number, in order to go ahead and deactivate valet parking mode. Number 19 has to do with the USB-C. Now, all the newer BMWs, they're all coming out with USB-C. If you guys don't know the difference between USB-C and USB-A or standard, our standard USB is going to be this guy right down here. That is our standard USB, of course, pretty obvious. But if we actually go right into here, and USB-C is also in the back as well too, but right inside here, if you actually see this guy right down there, that is actually USB-C. But the difference between this USB-C and USB standard that you see right along there is that if you were to plug your phone using the cord that goes into this will actually charge your phone 3 times faster, which is really, really useful. It's even faster, of course, than the wireless charger that some BMWs might still have. Number 20 has to do with one of the buttons that you see right down here. Hill descent control is going to be this new button that you see right here. All the BMWs, they always had hill descent control, but now for the newer BMWs, they did just switch the button to HDC, which just stands for hill descent control. Now, what hill descent control does, but if I were to hit that, you're going to see a message pop up right over here where it says hill descent deactivated and activated. Now, what hill descent is very, very useful for is the fact that if you're going down a steep hill, if you have hill descent control on, the vehicle will go down the hill at a nice control speed, and you can actually set the control speed right along here whenever you're going down the hill too, but it'll just keep the car going at a nice control speed. The best time to use this, in my opinion, is probably during the winter time. Whenever you're going down a steep hill, you can actually activate hill descent control, just so if the hill might have snow or ice. If you use hill descent control, then the vehicle will just go at a nice controlled pace, and then it won't speed up all by itself, which is very, very useful. Number 21 has to do with this BMW Digital Key Card. Where is it? It's right down along here. Now, again, all the newer BMWs, they have this really cool digital key card. Many people, they don't know what this guy is useful for. I had one guy who actually thought that this was a gift card, but that was not the case. But this digital key card is actually used as a third key. One thing to note about this digital key card is the fact that it is only good for a 1-year trial subscription. So definitely keep that in mind as you're using this. But essentially, this works as a third key. Now, the way that you use this is actually pretty simple. You do have to place it right down here. You do first have to activate the key card by placing it right down here. You do have to keep both of the keys within the vehicle in order to activate this card. But as soon as you activate it, then you can go ahead and use this digital key. Now, the way that this works, let's just say, for example, if this was a door handle right on the outside, all you have to do is press and hold on the outside of the door handle, and then the vehicle can unlock itself. You can also be outside and hold it one more time to lock the vehicle as well too. And the biggest thing is that you can take this key card and then place it right down here, right down on this pad, and then you can go ahead and start your vehicle too, all without using your real keys. Now, many people would question what is the best time to use this. Well, BMW Digital Key is very, very useful for people who like to go running a lot, and maybe swimming or biking or any other outdoor activities as well. This guy is really useful because you don't have to bring your real keys, and you can just keep this in your wallet or purse, and it's a nice slim design. Number 22, going back up to the visor that we see right along here. If you were to pop this out, and as you can see that the visor is here, well, did you guys know that if you were to push this back, you can actually get more coverage for the window that you see right along here? So watch this. You just got a whole bunch more space so you can block out that sun. Today is actually a great to use it because it is 98 degrees outside, which is really hot. Number 23 has to do with a safety feature, which is cross traffic warning. Now, what cross traffic warning is basically if you had a vehicle that was coming in from your back right side or back left side, if the vehicle thinks that car coming from the back left or back right side is going to bump into your car, cross traffic warning will actually pop up right along here on these two sides right along here, depending on which side the vehicle is coming in from. This side might beep and turn red, or this sign right over here might do the same thing too. So cross traffic warning is a really cool safety feature that all the newer BMWs have. 24 has to do with the headrest. Now the X5s and X7s, they definitely have this, and I believe the X3s might have this, but correct me if I'm wrong. But as you can see, we have our headrest right along here. There's a couple of different tricks that have to do with this. Now there's a button that you see right over here. This isn't used to raise the headrest up or down. If you were to hold this down and push forward or backward, you can actually move the headrest, as mentioned, forward or backward. So hold this down. Right now it's set to the forward position, but if you push this back, as you can see, the headrest can move backwards as well too. So forward and back. Also, as we're talking about the headrest right over here, one bonus trick is that if you wanted to raise the headrest, as you can see, there's no buttons here and here, and no buttons here or here. The way that you would have to raise this headset is by using the seat controls right down here. Now, what you have to do is the seat control right down here, you have to push this from the bottom and push up. So as you can see, I'm gonna push this up and watch the headrest go straight up. And that is how you adjust the headrest. Number 25 is the last one, and if you look right down here nearby the headlight controls, nearby my left knee, many people think that this might be a fuse box or whatever, but if you were to open this up, as you can see, BMWs, they actually have a cubby right along here, and right inside here you can place some really cool things such as sunglasses or illegal items, whatever you like. So yeah, everyone, these were my 25 hidden tricks. Again, this is the part 2 of the whole series. Our part 1 video got over 300,000 views, and hopefully this one will also do pretty well. Definitely give the video a like if you guys thought that this video helped you guys out. If you all think that I might have missed a really cool hidden trip that I should do for the next one, definitely comment down below, and I will make sure that I include that for the part 3 of this video. Definitely subscribe, definitely like the video, and I'll see you guys for the next one.